My name is Woodrow Nash, and I have the audacity to think of myself as an artist. I started out probably 30 years ago as a freelance artist doing art shows in art in the park, and professional conventions and things like that. And we get on the road, load up the truck, and curate the work to these venues and sell that way. But now I've reached a point where I no longer travel. My dealers, I have a certain amount of galleries that follow me, and they come to my studio here and make purchases, you know. So we've been doing this for 25, 30 years now. Buchtel class of 67, from grade school, I found that I was artistically inclined. And I just took the general courses, but my emphasis was in art. And I remember my first 3 periods of the day was always in the art class. You know, and I always received A's and B's in art, and the projects came easily, unlike the academic side of it. Still in the creativity side of just going to school. And I remember as a young kid having ambitions to be an artist. I would say I want to be an artist. When we were in Wisconsin, and there happened to be an art fair up around the Capitol, and I remember we were just on the lake viewing the scenery and everything. We looked around and it was all these tents. And we said, well, let's go up and see what's going on. It was an art show. I was not familiar with art shows. And people, you know, the artists had set up their wares and, you know, was selling them and making customers were making purchases. And I was, you know, I had been working for a living all my life. And I said, well, you know, that was a defining moment for me. And I said, well, I can do this. And I found that niche. And when people started buying my work and was showing an interest to it. And at that time, I didn't know what I was doing. And it was like, I was like flailing around in the water. I didn't know that the business side of it was just important as the creative side. So I just jumped in without knowing who I was going to sell to, defining my market, what I was going to do. I was trying to sell to everybody. And it occurred to me that everybody's not your customer. And so that I narrowed the scope down, and the rest is history. Of course, I'm flattered that and honored that they would choose me to go forth and create this image of Sojourner Truth, and it's going to be something I think of it as becoming an urban myth, maybe 100 years from now, when this statue has been there and people have grown up, generations have grown up, and there'll be an undercurrent of, do you know a black man created that? Oh, no. It'll be an urban myth. Yeah, because you look at Simon Perkins and, you know, the statues of John Brown and everything like that in this area, and you just take it for granted. Or the Indian that's walking on the Portage Trail. You know, you don't even think about it. And I feel that way about Sojourner Truth. I learned early on that she had visited Akron and gave a speech, Ain't I a Woman? And it had to do with women's suffrage, you know. So, but again, it's like over the years that had been put on the back burner. The history hasn't really been told of her significance here in the Akron area. And maybe the statue will bring some relevance to that. So, you know, it's an honor for me.